Hi there, and welcome to Homegrown Collective, a virtual yoga studio for all levels of practitioner, beginner, intermediate, seasoned yogis, as well as any yoga teachers who are just needing the love themselves. In this video, I want to talk about the whole idea of retreating at home, the joy of everything that's been happening in 2020 is hopefully we are forced to look more towards ourselves and how we're able to nourish ourselves throughout all this time of uncertainty, because our bodies very much respond to all the chaos that happens in our minds sometimes. And as much as we have news, updates, all those things right at our fingertips on our phone, on our watches for some, there's a way you can cultivate a little bit more balance in your personal life, and just to give you just the mental security of it's all going to be okay. So kind of let's maybe look at it as finding ways of staying positive in a negative experience right now. And so the whole idea with Homegrown Collective is retreating at home and helping yourself feel more at home. And if you think about that, who you are when you are at home versus when you have to go out and be with other people, even on a vacation, staying at someone's house, you're just kind of always on in a way, being mindful of everybody else's surroundings. And the first thing I want to mention, now that you've signed up for this membership, it's very important that you try to let yourself do this when you feel you are at home somewhere, where you feel like you don't have to be all those things for other people, polite, watch where you step, being mindful of other people's homes and space. This is your home. This is your home practice. And so try to let all those guards down. What's really wonderful about this opportunity of doing it at home is you don't have to go anywhere. So really the hard part is just establishing that diligence and discipline of trying just to meet yourself each day just for a few moments with not having to be on for anybody or anything. So the first thing I'm going to suggest when setting up your home space is picking a spot in your home. Depending on where you are in the world and you're watching this, I'm from Texas, so most of my time my mat is inside because Texas is so hot. But on those rare occasions in the fall and the spring when it feels really good, I have a space outside that I like to go enjoy just so I can feel a little bit more grass, a little bit more nature. I can hear the trees and birds, and depending on the time of day, all of those sounds outside make a difference. So if you are living in a climate environment that you are able to enjoy this more outside, pick a spot outside, pick a spot inside. Have those two options because it really does feel so great to breathe in the fresh air ever so often. And we will have special spring and fall classes geared to being outside, and I will actually film them outside so we can work on using the elements of nature to nourish us back into good health and good form. So spot in the home, in the yard, very important. Make sure it's a place where there's not a lot of distractions. You want to try to eliminate as many distractions as you can so you can truly just be at home with yourself in your body, not just physically in your surroundings of being at home, but even dialing that even more in and knowing that this body is very much your home. And so many of us have such a unique and dynamic and fluctuating up and down relationship with our physical bodies, depending on how we deal with our stress, how the body responds. And I'll be 36 at the end of 2020, and I can even say just in the last couple of years I've been practicing yoga since I was 17. And even with a regular practice like that, over time and as seasons change, as you have babies, as things happen and you learn to cope, your body picks up different habits and how it responds as well. And so I'm even feeling that. So even as a regular practitioner, you start to notice how things shift anyways. There's an ebb and a flow. And right now I feel we're more in an ebb. There's not so much a flow in the world right now. Just things happen one after another. So right now we're learning how to deal with that. The next thing that I'm going to mention as far as best practices is going to be time of day. If you look at when you best operate, a lot of creatives, a lot of artists, they may work late into the night, in the middle of the night, while everybody else is asleep and it's good and quiet and there aren't any distractions. If you notice, midday, all the things are happening. All the emails coming in, news reporters, all the stuff on top of your workday. If you're managing kids, if you're managing a home life, the busiest time is 8 a.m. to 8 p.m. So, and others, if you don't have all of that and you have a little bit more freedom with your time and schedule, maybe it's midday to help you perk back up. But pick a time that's going to be helpful for you where you won't feel as distracted, a time where it's going to help you propel into the next 6, 7, 8 hours. For me personally, I really enjoy waking up in the morning, taking my time, making my coffee, taking my dog on a walk, doing a few things around the house while everybody is still asleep. And once I know I kind of got a few first thing in the morning distractions done, yes, I check my phone and all the things, and then I put it down. And then I try to give myself about a 20-30 minute window before I know everybody starts to wake up, where I can kind of just be and just welcome in the morning. I know some stuff is done, so my mind's a little settled, and then I can spend 20-30 minutes on my mat, whatever that looks like. And then once the family starts to wake up, trickling into my little space, I know it's time to move on. Or if anybody doesn't have those automatic little reminders in the house, people getting up, setting your phone in the other room. That way, if you have your computer, anything like that, just set it to where you have a timer and you don't have to keep on looking at your watch to keep track of time. That can be a distraction in itself. So try to get to where at first you may have to figure out these logistics and try different times. Maybe it's in the morning, maybe it's at lunch, maybe it's mid-morning, maybe it's in the evening once everything is done and you're just ready just to wash it all off, and that's how you kind of rinse off the day metaphorically to sleep well at night. So it's really your call. It's per person. There is no right or wrong answer here. It's just a matter of finding what's going to work best for you and what is the most consistent option that you can keep up throughout the week. And weekdays tend to be different for me than weekends. Weekdays, my practice is much shorter. It may be broken up throughout the day, 10, 15 minutes here or there when I'm starting to feel it in my back, if I've been on my feet, feeling it in my shoulders when I'm typing on my computer. You get really tense when you're focused. You really clench if you're driving in traffic. Tone it all down, relax it, and just throughout the day, you may need those little moments of checking in. Like in the office setting, when I used to be in an office, their idea was work 50 minutes and then get up and walk around for 10 minutes. So work 50 minutes and then do your yoga for 10 minutes, and whatever that looks like. Even if it's the same thing all throughout the day, at least your body is moving, the circulation is finding its way, and you're keeping that internal flow moving, so your physical body is a little bit more happier, and then your mind's not distracted with all those sensations in the body, and your mind can be on other things. Some other few short best practices, since this is you're now in the system and you're ready to go. I'm going to say practice your yoga on an empty stomach. Save it for after your practice and try to let it be a reward of something really healthy and good, whether it's granola, oatmeal, overnight oats, some fruit, nothing that's going to weigh you down, nothing heavy, something that's going to help you keep stepping forward in the lightness and the freshness that you feel after your practice. So an empty stomach will weigh you down a little bit. So save that for once you're done with your practice and then you have a little bit more of an appetite, and then you can really enjoy it. Keep water by you. Don't chug a ton of water. This channel is not about the hot yoga scene. It's not about making sure you're dripping with sweat, because I'm trying to teach more relaxation, not exhaustion. And if you want to sweat, if you want to do all that, get outside. Let the sun come down on you. Let it get some of that vitamin D, and let that be some nourishment for you. But understand, if you plan on getting a little more heated, more water is needed. But majority, I want to say 98-99% of these classes, you may break a little bit of a sweat, and that's all dependent on if you're indoor, outdoor, the AC, all of that. That's up to you. Just keep in mind, if you know you're going to get more warm, if sweating is one of more of your physical releases and detox modes, definitely drink the water, but don't let it be so much that you're going to have to use the restroom in the middle of it. You just want enough just to keep the joints moving and grooving and the muscles remaining hydrated. Last couple things is you're going to need to make sure you have room to breathe. People don't need to be in the room while you're doing your yoga. That's really challenging, and keep in mind, even if it's for 10, 15 minutes, I'm somebody who has 2 children, 7 and 8 years old. They understand I need 10 to 15 minutes to chill so I can be better for them. I can be kinder, I can be nicer, I can be more patient. Some of our days just really run together, and just our tempers on some days can just really be a short fuse, and I'm trying to already encourage my family to let them know, look, this works for me, and then I can better be there for y'all. And so when you make that connection, and if you have roommates, if you have family that live in the home with you, try to get them on board and let them understand that this is really important to you. And it's not long, but it's enough to where everybody's going to benefit. And this is just good practice, just like brushing your teeth, taking the shower, using the restroom, anything of the like. This is a way we can get in there and just really just take care of yourselves, hands-on. And then finally, just wherever you go, make sure you have room to stretch out. You know what I mean? See, I'm bumping into my plant. This wouldn't be an ideal place. I don't want to get distracted here. So make sure wherever you go, you have room for your mat. I would recommend having a little bit of wall space, just so your legs, if you want to do your handstand, headstand, legs up the wall, even seated in our gentle and hatha classes, I love using the wall. And we'll do a lot, not yoga wall, but we'll use just a plain space of a wall where there's no mirrors, there's nothing that you can knock down, but it's just is about as wide as your mat. Just gives you a nice blank slate to lean up against, to use in different ways, and we will have specific yoga using the wall classes, and so make sure you have something like that around. And finally, leave your mat out if you can, unless you have dogs or things like that and people just end up wrecking up your stuff. If you can have a designated space where your mat can stay out, your props can stay out, that way the mat's just there to catch you anytime you need it. Let that be your go-to safe space where you can just go and breathe, even if it's just lying down in Shavasana. That's the best thing in the world. Sometimes your body needs to do is just to ground down, lay on the floor, and find stillness, and then just let your body breathe. All the props that you're going to need is in the next video. I break them down for you, but you can go to www.amazon.com/shop/homegrown yoga, and you will see the list of yoga props and essentials for the home. You can start to go down that list and start to pick the items that you want to use. They are all my top recommendations that are going to be durable. Again, teaching for 12 and practicing for almost 18 years. I've had a lot of trial and error with different props, and I have come to realize there are very specific items that just stand the test of time, and it's worth the purchase, especially with what it does for your body and the support that it gives you. True support, that's what the props are. And you see yoga wall behind me. Those classes are going to be coming up. And so that's just kind of the basis of retreating at home and what that looks like, what you need, what your best practices are, to make this the most successful experience for you, because this is important for you just to get a handle on your wellness physically, mentally, emotionally, and balance all that out, because throughout the day, all 3 of those levels get thrown out of whack. If we sit in the car all day and we're driving, our body is jammed up. If our mind is thinking about personal things, but we have to physically be there at work, it's completely different. So when you get all of that mixed up, and over time, if you don't have a regular way of bringing things back into balance, that imbalance is just going to keep on spreading and end up possibly just evolving into a much bigger situation. And so this is a great way just to head it all off and just try to knock off that edge that you're feeling. So I hope that made sense. Please enjoy the classes. You will also see in this video kit your props breakdown and a few other things as far as posture work and different alignment setups, just to get you good to go for your home practice. So I'm looking forward to working with you, breathing with you, practicing with you, hearing from you. Thank you for finding us. Again, my name is Charlotte, and welcome home. Yeah.